What laws are there against the Pokemon? Because like, in the Pokemon universe, there's the Pokemon Association. They run the gyms and the Pokemon League and stuff, and they make the rules, and the regions kind of like follow by those rules. But from what I can tell, the only law that they enforce is like the 6 Pokemon in a party at one time policy. And probably stealing Pokemon. But yeah, stealing Pokemon's probably a crime. Consider like Team Rocket's being all sneaky about it. So that leaves a few things up in the air, you know. Because most regions allow capturing Pokemon and cockfights with them. You know, all that jazz. Well, besides the Detective Pikachu place, which I'll get back to. Unless I don't. But anyway, they allow all this Pokemon fighting. Do they allow Pokemon murder? I don't think they do. Because you have like Slowpoke tails and Mankey paws in the black market and shit. So I'm guessing it's a crime. But Slowpokes can grow back their tails, and it doesn't harm them apparently. But it's probably a crime to kill one. But what if you kill someone with a Pokemon? Or what if you accidentally kill someone with a Pokemon? If your Pokemon kills someone, are you an accomplice, even if it wasn't your intention to kill them? What about the Pokemon? Do they go to Poke Jail? The Pokepound? Do they get Poke put down? What if they kill another Pokemon? Because there's like the whole fan theory about like Red killing Blue's Raticate on the SS Anne fight. So is it just like a skill issue? Or is it like a federal offence? If it's in league play, does it disqualify you? Or is it like Rocky 4 boxing type shit? If he dies, you know? Can these recently deceased Pokemon have organs harvested for medical purposes? Actually, that brings me on to another thing. Are Pokemon allowed for produce? Because I've seen Miltank milk and stuff in Pokemarts, and apparently Chansey eggs are delicious. So you can use them for that kind of stuff. But what about the meat? What about like regular kinds of Pokemon eggs? What if I want to chew down on some Kentucky Fried Gardevoir? Bringing me on to my next point. What about relationships with Pokemon? That used to be a thing. Like in the Gen 4 games, there was like books about it. But it doesn't look like it's around anymore. So did it just fall out of style, or was it like made illegal? Because with most Pokemon, I get it. They're literal animals. They are not capable of consenting to a relationship. But what about a Pokemon like Alakazam, which are literally more intelligent than humans? Like, it shocks me how many Pokemon are on par, and even above humans in intelligence and sentience. But if you wanted to marry a Pokemon, would you have to wait until the age of maturity? What would the age of maturity be for a Pokemon? Do different Pokemon have different rates of maturity? Would this make you a Pokegroomer? Could you only marry Pokemon in a similar species type? What Pokemon egg groups are humans in? Can you fuck the Pokemon? Is interspecies mating even allowed? Also, what's up with all this unregulated Pokemon breeding and trading? From what I can tell, mass breeding operations seem completely fine since a 10-year-old can do them. Also, there's illegal Pokemon trades, but I don't know how they're illegal. Like, you see Team Rocket trafficking all these stolen Pokemon, but then you have like Billy, who's captured a small country's worth of Lotads and is selling them off to a lab for scientific research. Like, why are they even stealing some of these Pokemon? Like, I get level 72 Scizor, but who the fuck wants a level 15 Beedrill? And can people get banned from using Pokemon? Like, can Poke Protective Services take away reformed Team Rocket grunt Jason's Vaporeon because he was seen hanging around former associates? Are there Pokemon custody battles? If a couple owns a Pokemon together and they break up, do they have to go to Pokecourt and play a feeding minigame to see who will win custody of their Wooper? Does the Wooper get to spend a weekend at the female trainer's place? Do you have to pay Pokemon child support? If you have 50 Rattatas, do you get Poke benefits to support them? I mean, surely not, because you have like hundreds of Pokemon on your PC and not earn shit. Also, PC is a bit strange. Sorta exists out of time and space. Are they even alive in there? Is that humane to have that many Pokemon? Are there any laws against this kind of stuff for Pokemon? Do Pokemon have rights to like a certain quality of living? Is Gold gonna get arrested for the disgusting things he's put his Ditto through? Can they even prosecute a 10-year-old for this? I mean, at this age they trust him enough to leave his home and adventure his regions, so... Yeah, I think he might be culpable. Also, what age do you have to be to own a Pokemon? 10? I've seen way younger own a Pokemon, so that might just be when they're allowed to enter the Pokemon League. But do they do background checks? Is anyone allowed to use a Pokemon? Are there debates about banning all pseudo-legendaries from public usage? Also, regular animals just exist in the Pokemon world, but nobody gives a shit about them. So how do you classify between regular animals and Pokemon? Do animals and Pokemon interbreed? If animals exist, then surely they have similar laws to our animals. So why are the Pokemon different when it comes to their laws? Also, Pokemon can be drafted apparently. Like, police and Pokécenters and other Poké government departments use them, but they're also just like used in the military for war. Are they even allowed to use these Pokemon in international conflicts? Are certain Pokemon banned from being used in warfare? Does the Geneva Convention ban Uber-tier Pokemon? Did Lieutenant Surge use electrodes with explosion in Pokénam? Did Sinnoh use Mr. Mimes for torturing prisoners of war? Is there Poké war crimes? Will the Elite Four be prosecuted at Pokenberg? Will Team Galactic end the Poké side of normal types? Why does Jinx blackface?